up all night to get some. We're up all night for good fun. We're up all night to get lucky. 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 We're up all night to get lucky.
The present has no limit. Your gift keeps on giving. What is this of feeling? If you want to live, I'm ready.
We've got to fight to give up who we are. So let's raise a bar and the cast to the stars. She's up all night to the sun. I'm up all night to get some. She's up all night for good fun. I'm up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to the sun. We're up all night to get some. We're up all night for good fun. We're up all night to get lucky. 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 We're up all night to get lucky.
We're up all night to get. 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 We're up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to get lucky.
She's up all night to the sun. I'm up all night to get some. She's up all night for good fun. I'm up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to the sun. We're up all night to get some. We're up all night for good fun. We're up all night to get lucky.
We're up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to get lucky.
Y'all ready for this?
Get down with the sound, house on the ground, freeze when I squeeze, drop to your knees. You must obey, I'm in here to stay, ready to take you around the way. So you ready for this? Mind your own biz, cause I am back, yeah, the microphone biz. Need to say, cause it's too limited. Ready, ready, ready for this. Feel the bass, they just get closer. Be impressed by the words I chose. So once again, kicking it live, doing everything, yo, just to survive. Above the law, I think I stand here on stage with a mic in my hand, buzzing it loud into the crowd. The age is 20, I'm from the south.
Be a boss, break my heart. Get ready for this. Mind your own biz. People in the front, show me what you want, and I will give it is. Get ready for this. We're too limited, so people don't you sit. Moving up and down, dancing on the ground, feeling kind of free, security. How's this sound that moves you from the ground?
House on the ground, raising your face, raising the place, no time to waste. Being hypnotized, I see it in your eyes. Feeling kinda better, put on your sweater. Being black or white, I think it doesn't matter. Super dope, deaf, and even outrageous. If it was an animal that kept me in cages. So get ready for this.
Y'all ready for this?
Ani chovej na šiňár v choru, pokrvej na knu rachlen kučimin tulaman 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 bine bitulaman bine bujahela tulaman 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 parki tulaman bine bujahela Rachmechinole se tulaman kehela tiana prokadere se tulaman gela tulaman 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 bine bitulaman bine bujahela tulaman 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 parki tulaman bine bujahela Broke brekaturen dol magela te bar extra shere tulaman gela tulaman 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 bine bitulaman bine bujahela tulaman 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 parki tulaman bine bujahela tulaman bine bitulaman bine bujahela tulaman bine bitulaman bine bujahela tulaman 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 bine bitulaman bine bujahela tulaman 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 parki tulaman bine bujahela tulaman bine bitulaman bine bujahela tulaman bine bitulaman bine bujahela Ani huri na shinyar fi khuru wa qurbi na knu rahlan kujimi tulaman 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 bine bitulaman bine bujahela tulaman 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 farki tulaman bine bujahela tulaman bine bitulaman bine bujahela tulaman bine bitulaman bine bujahela tulaman 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 bine bitulaman bine bujahela tulaman 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 farki tulaman bine bujahela tulaman bine bitulaman bine bujahela tulaman bine bitulaman bine bujahela
Hey baby, wake up from your sleep. We have arrived onto the future and the whole world is become electronic, supersonic, supersonic, electronic. Hey baby, ride with me away. We doesn't have much time. My blue jeans is tight, so onto my love rocket climb. Inside tank of fuel is not fuel, but love. Above us, there is nothing above, but the stars above.
All systems gone. Prepare for down count.
5, 4, 3, 1, off blast! Fly away in my space rocket. You no need put money in my pocket. The door is closed, I just lock it. I put my go plug in your socket.
The sun and sky is bright like fire.
You and me gets higher and higher.
Cut off communication wire.
Only thing can stop us is flat tire. crusader, I want to be your space invader. For you I would descend the deepest moon crater. I is more stronger than Darth Vapor. Obey me, I is your new dictator. For you is Venus, I am Mars. With you I is more richer than all the tsars. Make a wishes on a shooting stars. Then for you I will play on my cosmic guitars.
Ladies and gentlemen, fasten your belt seats. We has commenced our descent. I trust you enjoy this flight as much as you enjoy this accent.
Now, back on Earth, it's time for down splash. Into sea of eternal glory, my spaceship crash. People have arrived for to cheer me from near and far. And as I float, I open door and shout, I world's biggest, washed up superstar. As for sure as the sun rises in the west, of all the singers and poets on earth, I am the bestest. Come, let me put the ring of Jupiter on your finger. Then like a smell around you, I will forever linger. Okay, it's time for end. No more will I sing. Let me take you back in time. I want for you to experience Big Bang. Long live space race. Long live Movania. Electronic, supersonic, supersonic, electronic.
When you were here before, when I look you in the eye, you're just like an angel.
Lustig sein, schei wie du wie dein, Mama häng dich bei mir rein, schei wie du wie dein, auf geht's Burmann, Ost von Rhein, schei wie du wie dein, was Gaudi das muss sein. Schei wie du wie dein, Heide Heim wird's lustig sein, schei wie du wie dein, Mama häng dich bei mir rein, schei wie du wie dein, auf geht's Burmann, Ost von Rhein, schei wie du wie dein, was Gaudi das muss sein. Wenn die Musik spielt, das andere leider läuft. Wenn die Musik spielt, von Hamburg bis nach Mexiko. Wenn die Musik spielt, ja dann geht keiner vor. Weil die Musik, hat immer das letzte Wort. Weil die Musik, hat immer das letzte Wort.
All right, we're here. Hold on. That's enough. That's enough of that. That's enough. That's enough of that. Hello and welcome back. Hello everybody, welcome back. How was your holiday? Anything interesting happen? Any interesting events? We had a good Thanksgiving here. We had a good one here. I'm still just, like, I have a headache. I'm wore out. We hosted Thanksgiving yesterday and my family came out, our neighbors came over, Casey's family was coming, they came over too. It was a busy affair. We had quite a few people there. It all went well and everybody liked my food, so that's a win. People in my family were telling me they were proud of me because they were saying that my grandpa would have been proud because he was the one who used to do that before. Big shoes to fill, but thankfully I've got big feet. What kind of Black Friday deals you got? We've got some Black Friday specials. We're going to do a 2-for-1 on all questions asked. We're going to be doing a 2-for-1 deal. For every question you ask, I will give you 2 answers. Limited time offer. We've only got so much stock. Once we're out, we're out. Once we're out, we're out. If you were to ask me, I think that's the way to go. If you were to open a restaurant, let's say, if you were to open a restaurant, be the type of restaurant where, like, when you sell out for the day, like, that's it. You're closed. You sell one thing, you do it perfectly, and then when you're out for the day, you go home. The Thanksgiving food was good yesterday. I didn't think to take any pictures because I was just very busy cooking. But I made a turkey. The turkey turned out good. I brined it. I spatchcocked it. I cooked it in the oven. And we also had a ham. We did a glazed ham. Those spiral cut big boys. I made some bread rolls. Made some macaroni and cheese. We did some stuffing, some gravy, and then other people brought some sides and desserts. I don't know how it works, but you know, I put out all this food on Thanksgiving, and then I'm left with more food than I started with. I don't know how that works. My brother called constantly yesterday. It's because he knew where to go. He knew you were the source. Who had the intel. I feel good. I feel proud. We made Thanksgiving happen, brought the family together. It was a good time. The thing about Thanksgiving food is that you can do everything that is made in a Thanksgiving meal in a very basic way. That's what a lot of people do because it's, you know, you're cooking a whole bunch of food, and so you don't necessarily want everything to be like super crazy. Some people, you know, you'll see them just do a lot of canned stuff. A lot of canned stuff, pretty popular on Thanksgiving in a lot of places. Let's see this Thanksgiving spread. Let's see some real Caucasian behavior. So, the Thanksgiving spread. Pineapples, mayonnaise, and cheese. I'm still just trying to wrap my head around it.
Hey y'all, happy Thanksgiving. Okay, this is gonna be our Thanksgiving dinner this year.
Yes.
We did change it up a little bit, but not a lot. So we've got the oven roasted turkey with gravy. We've got our traditional canned ham with pineapples.
And we've been eating this like since I was a little kid. Like this is all I've known.
We have the apple pie macaroni and cheese.
Look at that crust on there.
I know. I think this is the prettiest macaroni I've ever made.
Yeah. And y'all, I made this. I threw this together. I got some leaves out the yard, and this was a leftover pumpkin from Halloween. I like that. Like it just feels
It's a nice
fall-y.
little centerpiece. It is. We've got brown rice. We've got 3-bean salad.
That rice.
We've got our butter toast.
Mm-hmm.
Our lima beans with mayonnaise. The pineapples, mayonnaise, and cheese with the cherry on top this time.
Y'all got fancy with it.
We did with
It
this
doesn't
one.
normally have the
Still
cherry.
herself.
They went all out with the cherry.
And we've got our mock apple pie made of Ritz crackers.
Yeah.
Now, we love this.
Oh, I know. I should have made one just for me. I
Well,
think it's good.
You know what we need to do
mayo.
is I need to show you
Yes.
how to make it so you can make your own. And we also have pizza roll for the kids is
Yeah.
what we have because
Couldn't even line out the. You're too busy. You couldn't even line out the pizza rolls. Whenever I don't know. Maybe this is just one of my behavioral quirks. If I, on occasion, I will be known to enjoy a pizza roll. But when I do it, I always make sure they're lined up.
hey y'all, I'm Mama and I'm hosting Thanksgiving dinner and I am super excited to be sharing my apple pie macaroni and cheese.
Hi, I'm Melissa, and I brought the Milo's tea. Happy Thanksgiving.
Hey y'all, I'm Jen Jen, and I brought pineapples, mayonnaise, and cheese.
Oh, and you got fancy with the cherries?
With the cherry. Also, this year I brought the brown rice.
Hey y'all, this is Shay Shay. I'm Josh's grandma. I come to Thanksgiving dinner. I brought the drinks. Y'all have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Love y'all.
Coke and Pepsi. I like that it's not two different sodas, it's Coke or Pepsi.
Y'all.
Hey, I'm Josie. I brought the pizza rolls.
Oh, you
I'm
brought
Anne
the
Marie,
pizza
and I
rolls.
brought my
Okay.
famous lima beans and mayonnaise.
Lima beans and mayonnaise. So I'm assuming that I'm assuming that the liquid that has watered down the mayonnaise in this presentation, I'm assuming that's just the juice out of the lima bean can. I'm assuming that's where that excess liquid came from. No seasons were harmed in the making of this video.
My name's Peyton, and I got the beer.
Thanks, Pete.
What's up, y'all? And I'm Josh, and I brought my appetite. I'm about to eat and eat and eat until I can't eat no more. I hope everybody has a wonderful Thanksgiving, and hail, let's go eat.
Hey y'all, I'm Monica.
Freeloader. He's the one filming the videos. He's the one filming the videos and posting them online, so he's a busy guy. Are there any dishes someone's made that actually are famous? Well, I've made a beef Wellington, and that's... I don't know. But yeah, anytime I hear of a famous recipe, or it says so-and-so's famous, like, well, how come I haven't heard of it? If it's famous, how come I have... Because I'm old, and I haven't heard of things. K-pop Demon Hunters? What's this? I have no idea. People are talking about it. I'm clueless.
And nobody can take off to help you, Mama. That's just...
No, I do this every year.
I know.
Mama
Dang,
was busy
where
this
does all that
Thanksgiving.
come from?
Were you wanting thin slices or big slices? Because sometimes...
Let's do a couple of them thin and then a couple of them thick.
What flavor are you putting on the chicken?
Lemon pepper. I know you like that.
Oh, is it gonna fit? Oh, yeah.
There it goes.
And how long is that gotta cook?
For a whole hour.
Oh.
What kind of bean is that?
I thought it was all the same bean.
This tastes like your bread and butter pickles. They do. What? Those are some pretty potatoes.
How did I do with the ham? I got the pineapples and brown sugar on there.
You did good. You're learning. I like that.
Oh, you got a real lemon today?
Look, I don't know how old this lemon is.
What?
I don't know how old it is. It's been in your refrigerator.
You want me to stir it for you?
No, don't touch that. No. I gotta slice the turkey.
Why are you yelling?
It's the
I
mock
still gotta
apple
finish
pie.
the
You made it.
macaroni.
You make it from crackers that you boil in like.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
The microwave chicken cooker.
Yeah.
You microwave it for an hour. You got the spam turkey.
How was it?
It's fine.
Dang, one jar might be enough.
Mm-hmm. Have that extra jar left over.
Right.
My gosh.
What?
Are you serious?
Is that side still good?
Yeah, this is good.
What?
I gotta chop up these apples.
You know, we about should have done 2 cans.
Of apples?
Yeah. So that's what I was just thinking.
Well, I'm not going back to the store.
So chicken, pie.
This is kind
mac
of
and cheese,
terrifying. This
cheese,
is my
turkey,
culture.
ham.
You're not allowed to
ham.
criticize it.
The 3
They'll
bean
cancel
salad.
you.
Right. So everything's ready just to be popped in the oven tomorrow.
Right. And then that way, I don't have.
Breathe.
Well, I still got to get through tomorrow.
And nobody can take off to help you, Mama.
Yep, she had to do all the cooking. Like, what did everybody else make? Pineapples, mayonnaise, and cheese. I'm imagining the taste and the texture in my mind. Of a slice of pineapple out of a can. A big dollop of mayonnaise. A sprinkling of cheddar cheese. Now, the combination of cheese and apples, that's something you see. Apple pie mac and cheese, it's probably fine. Savory apple dishes exist. But the pineapple mayonnaise and cheese, that I don't get. That sounds like a nightmare that's been hanging on since like some 1970s cookbook. Like, that's some 1970s cookbook type stuff. No. No. Just no. Like, I would try just about anything, but there are some things where I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know. What this feels like is This feels like I'm looking at a 1970s cookbook. Have you seen the banana candle? No. Is it shaped like a banana? Or is it food? Oh, the candle salad. Yes. I think we made this once. Or something similar. I have vague memories of making something like this on Casey's stream. Oh, no, this wasn't what it was. What we made was Toast Hawaii. Yeah, we made Toast Hawaii. which you really got to go to the Wikipedia page, because the Wikipedia page, the picture they have is really good. This is bread with ham, a slice of pineapple, a slice of cheese, and a cherry. This picture, it does make it look incredibly sad. Americans stretch the definition of salad. Oh, we definitely do. But if you look, if you go back, you will notice that there is lettuce. So we can be confident in calling it a salad. Just put a little lettuce in there and you're good. Toast Hawaii, though. This was actually pretty good. I didn't mind it. I thought it was pretty good. It looks like an abomination. It looks unholy, but taste-wise, it's pretty good. Pineapple and ham, pretty good. Hard to, yeah, it's a good combo. Salad is when you combine your weed roaches into one blunt. The blunt roach. Or the roach blunt. My brain feels like it's at about 20% processing power. Don't worry, that should be fine. That should be able to get us through today. But you might see some random hiccups and freezes. But I don't think I'll blue screen. How come you don't see these foods anymore? What happened? The people who were cooking stuff out of these cookbooks, they're still alive and they're in our government. Just putting that thought into your head. Were they okay back then? There was a lot of lead floating around through the air just because of all of the leaded gasoline that they were burning back then. And so I think that might have something to do with this, but that's just a theory. This is what RFK Jr. grew up on. Yeah, that's why he grew up big and strong, is he made sure to eat his ham and bananas hollandaise. Made sure to clean that plate. What I never got was the Jell-O salads and stuff. These things, those gelatin molds where you float stuff in it. What's this? here we go. You got all of dinner in one little thing. Well, you see, what this allows you to do is this allows you to make better use of the giant trifle dish that you have that you never use. Big deep dish. Turn it into a giant meat and vegetable jello cake. Don't forget to take a little bit of that extra gelatin on the side. That's good stuff there. It just feels wrong in so many ways. Conceptually, spiritually. Let's take a look at the question box. I need to stop looking at weird food. I need to stop looking at weird food. I could look at weird food all day. I hate Miracle Whip and recipes that use it. Yeah, yeah. I agree. There are some contexts in which Miracle Whip is okay. It's not bad if you mix it into a sauce or something. Like, if you make a burger sauce and you use Miracle Whip instead of like regular mayonnaise, it still tastes fine. Miracle Whip was one of those things that we had in the fridge whenever I was a child. My parents never bought real mayonnaise. I didn't get to try that until I was a little bit older. I was like, oh my god, this is so much better. This is what actual mayonnaise tastes like. Because growing up in a Miracle Whip house, they don't call it Miracle Whip, they call it mayonnaise. Alrighty, we've got some questions in the box. Let's go ahead and take a look. First, I would like to state that I am embarrassed for admitting this, but I think something can be learned from this. Alright. We're ready to learn. Genuinely had to reason with and talk myself out of making somewhat bigoted assumptions. I had a few things stolen from me over the course of a month. Food delivery, I hate to admit. You're feeling some guilt about getting the food delivery. That's fair. Don't worry, we're not gonna rub your nose in it. It's fine. let me say, I have deleted all delivery apps except groceries, and I will be doing better at being self-sufficient. You'll love to see it. These three individuals had some similar characteristics. Every time your food got stolen? Okay. So, alright. I think I'm getting it. When I was angry, I started ranting in my head and caught myself thinking some not cool thoughts. Thankfully, I had an interrupter thought that stated, "What the hell was that? What's wrong with you?" Okay, so what you just experienced is your mind making itself up. You're trying to make up your mind. What you'll notice, this will happen. We'll have these thoughts pop up. You know, maybe you're walking down the street and you see somebody and you start to form thoughts or opinions about that person, even though you don't know this person. And then you catch yourself doing it, and then you're like, why am I doing this? Does this mean that you're a judgmental person? Or is there just a part of your awareness, a part of your mind that's just its job, is to just form criticisms and opinions about things? And if, you know, it's normal, it'll make you feel uncomfortable. You're like, why did I think that? Why did I think that about that person? I don't know this person. That was very rude of me to think that. But see, here's the thing. You didn't act on it. You didn't say it out loud. You didn't, and it made you feel uncomfortable. This is your brain kind of reality checking itself. What is it that I actually do believe? You know, if you're sitting there having those thoughts, having those beliefs, and you're like, yeah, bring it on, more of that, I like that. That's probably worse than the thought pops up and you're like, that's not something I should think, that's fucked up. Just because the thought popped into your head doesn't mean it's something you believe. That's important to remember. Your brain is always postulating new things and, you know, coming up with random shit, trying to figure out what it is that you actually believe. And so those thoughts popped up and you said, no, that's fucked up. And that's how it's supposed to go. Because you can't control what thoughts pop up in your head. As much as you might like to think you can. As much as you like to think that you have control over what it is you think about. I wish people just wouldn't perceive me in public, but you're worthy of being perceived. You are deserving of perception. You're one of the few examples of a conscious being in the entire universe, and we're not allowed to perceive you? Aurora Borealis localized entirely within your kitchen, and you're not going to let me see it. What you'll notice about these thoughts is that the way I look at these thoughts is they're basically like intrusive thoughts, because they're not always directed towards other people. They might be directed towards yourself. They might be directed towards other things in your life. Just those very snap, harsh, judgmental, critical thoughts. They might happen a lot. They might happen every once in a while, but they probably do pop up from time to time. It's about how you respond to those thoughts. Do you find comfort in them? Do you cling to them? Do you, enable those thoughts and go further into them? Or do you push back against them? Just having the thought doesn't mean you're a bad person. Enabling the thought, being okay with the thought, that's a different story. So you felt shame and you still feel guilty about it, but you had a thought and you responded to the thought appropriately. I would say there's no point in feeling that shame or guilt because you weren't acting on those thoughts, you weren't enabling those thoughts, you are actively discouraging yourself from having those thoughts. Your mind has, on average, about 50,000 thoughts a day. Not all of them are going to make sense. Not all of them are going to be useful. Not all of them are going to be accurate or true. It's one of the ways that your brain is probing. It's the way that it determines what is real, what's going on around me. You know, these thoughts can be directed towards anyone. They can be about anything. They can be about ourselves. They can be about, they're just thoughts. It's just a byproduct of your brain being on, To educate myself, I went and did research and educated myself as to some factors that could be contributing to my misconceptions, and I educated myself properly. Good, it's always nice to learn. Wanted to share because normies do this but do not try to fix this line of thought. I would say that's not even what normies do, that's just what bigots do. That's what bigots do. They have these lines of thought and they don't try to fix it, they just go deeper into it. They're like, oh yeah, this type of person is to blame for all of my problems. Whether it's a misogynist, whether it's a racist, whether it's a homophobe, whatever. They find a thought where they can blame a certain type of person for their pain in life, and then they just continue to rely on that as a source of processing that pain. I think some people are unable to understand that their thoughts and words are not okay. For some people, it's just about the world that they live in. Because these types of, judgmental, prejudiced thoughts, these aren't as common in diverse places. If you grow up in a place where everybody looks like you, everybody sounds like you, and they all believe a thing, you're probably going to believe that thing too, just because everybody else believes it. And what happens is, for most people, those thoughts remain unchallenged until you actually have life experience and you actually meet people and get to know them, and it changes your internal narrative. This is what leads to hate-filled individuals, a certain lack of self-awareness and accountability. I'd like to apologize, but please know that I do not allow thoughts like this to fester and corrected it as soon as it came to my head. Okay. Let me also talk about something real quick. One of the things that can happen to people is they get really anxious about these types of thoughts that pop up. Let's say you're walking down the street and, you just find this voice in your head that's just very harsh, very critical, or you find it thinking things that are just vile and repulsive, and it's creating a lot of anxiety for you because you're like, oh my god, why am I thinking this? Why am I this type of person? Why can't I get these thoughts out of my head? The thoughts stick because they bother you. So some people become so aware and so bothered by these thoughts that'll pop up that the thoughts actually repeat themselves and get stronger, and it gives them a whole lot of anxiety. An example of this would be somebody who has pure O type OCD, where their primary condition is they have these thought loops that they have a hard time breaking free of. You have to let them run out. No, I think what's important to do is recognizing that you are not your thoughts. A A lot of people still live under that assumption. I am my thoughts. Whatever it is I'm thinking, that's who I am. That's what I believe. That's, you know, your thoughts are just a byproduct of having a brain. You know, you are not your thoughts. You are the thinker of thoughts. You are the one experiencing your thoughts. And so some people will have these types of thoughts pop up and they'll be like, oh my God, I can't believe it. I'm actually a big piece of shit somewhere deep down because I had this thought. And it's like, no, you didn't find any joy in that thought. You didn't find any comfort in that thought. In fact, that thought made you actively uncomfortable. So perhaps it's not something that you believe. Perhaps it's just the equivalent of a brain fart, or just your brain just drawing something out of a hat, essentially. It's one of the ways our brain likes to just reaffirm and figure out what is it that we actually believe. And sometimes it does that by postulating the exact opposite of what it is that we believe. Just our brain trying to figure out what is real to us. And if these thoughts make us uncomfortable, then it's probably a good sign that that's not the type of person we are, and we don't want to enable and go further into those thoughts. But you don't have to beat yourself up forever just because you had the thought. Because on its own, it doesn't really mean all that much. You're not going further into it. You didn't feel good. You felt bad because it happened. Anyway, I find it helpful to kind of change your relationship with your thinking and to just recognize that this is just something my brain does whenever I'm awake. It also does it when I'm asleep, but it does it differently. Looking at your thoughts from the sidelines is a very hard concept. It is until it isn't. You know, it's kind of like learning how to sit and just watch traffic go by, but you can't get caught up on any single car that goes down the road. You can't focus too much on any one car. Each one of those cars is going to want to try to pick you up and drive off with you, but you got to just sit there and you got to just watch them go by. Anyway, it's not as hard to learn how to do it as you think. It's a skill that you could probably get pretty good at within a span of just a couple months if you actually started, you know, just sitting down and practicing some meditation for a few minutes every day. Yeah, it can be challenging. It can be challenging to kind of detach yourself from your thoughts or to take a step back from your thoughts, but it really is possible. We just get so caught up in our thoughts because we are wired to respond to our thoughts. It's why we do anything. It's why it's how we exist. And so we are naturally very receptive to whatever it is we're thinking. This is going to influence how I act. This is going to influence how I feel. It's going to lead into more thoughts. But to just view a thought as a mental event, just try to practice doing it on individual thoughts that you have. You know, maybe you're walking somewhere or you're just hanging out and something random just pops into your head for no real reason. It's a good moment to recognize, like, hey, okay, yeah, the thought is just a mental event. Like, where did that come from? I don't know. My brain was just coming up with something. Your brain likes to stay stimulated. And in an absence of stimuli, your brain will start to find its own things, occupy its boredom. It sounds like you're having a good day. Nice to hear it. Got an amazing day. You rolled high. You rolled a nat 20. You love to see it. My husband refuses to let me hike by myself because we are in South Texas and he said someone is going to traffic me. There are ways to do it more safely. I would say, you know, if you are going to go out and you are going to hike by yourself, to take proper precautions. Because out in nature, out on those trails, that's one of the most dangerous places to be all by yourself. It just is, like, statistically, it just is. So I can understand where the fear comes from. Does it mean that anything's gonna happen? No. It could be totally fine. But I understand where the fear comes from. But instead of just completely avoiding the fear, I think it's important to have a conversation about what can we do to manage this fear. It's like, okay, well, I won't go when it's dark. I won't go alone anywhere in the dark. I'll make sure I'll try to do it at a time where there's going to be other people around. I'll make sure to have my phone on me. I'll have my location on, you know, I'll take proper precautions. I'll brush up on my karate. I'll bring a big can of bear spray. You know, whatever it is that helps you to feel safe. I'm trying to be positive, like, wow, he cares, but I am just angry. I get it, you know. It's infantilizing, you know, it's like you can't take care of yourself and something terrible is going to happen to you, so, you know, it makes sense, but let's figure out a good solution. A hobby that brings me peace. I've been told that I am not allowed to do it alone. Just argue because I planned on hiking tomorrow since it's the last day my son is out of town, and he told me basically I cannot go unless he goes with me, but he works tomorrow and isn't off again until I work on Monday. Just super bummed out, like it's my dad telling me I can't go to my friend's house. It's so annoying now. I'm going to dissociate for an hour and calm down. I get where you're coming from. Just telling you that you can't do something, that does very much feel like this person's trying to be my parent. You know, this person's your partner, and you are peers here, and you are also both full-grown adults, so we need to be able to talk this out like adults, instead of just one person telling the other person what they can and can't do. So I think you should both sit down and talk about it and be like, okay, well, this is what I'm going to do. I'll go at this time. You know, this is where I'll be. I'm not saying that you don't already take proper precaution, but I'm saying that, like, maybe just to ease his mind so that he doesn't. Because obviously, you could go if you wanted to. You don't have to just stay at home. You could go if you wanted to, right? He'll be at work. How would he know? But that's not the road you want to go down, because that's just going to be more division, and you guys are married. So it's important to be able to talk through stuff instead of just, like, being sneaky. I just feel like there are ways to minimize the risks, you know, like go on a popular trail, go during a time where there will be other people around, go during a time where it'll be well lit, you know, tell people where you'll be, what time you're leaving, what time you'll be back. Maybe even agree to like text them like, okay, I'm done, I'm on my way home now, just so like the world can be a dangerous place. I get it. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't live in it. So I think just maybe having, like, we understand where he's coming from because he cares about you and he's worried about you, but it sounds like he is kind of pushing it here by just, like, trying to say, like, no, you can't do this. Like, I think we could try to find a meaningful compromise where you can keep your hobby and you can do what you want and he can feel some peace of mind knowing that you are doing it as safely as possible. Are you gonna do a piece on how the holidays make people well more than depressed? We're gonna be talking about the holidays for sure. We've done some stuff on the holidays in the years past, so it's something that we do like to talk about. The holidays can be a very the holidays are an emotional amplifier. So if you have a holiday and it's a good holiday, it feels really good because the emotions are amplified. Whereas if you feel bad, those emotions are also amplified and it feels really bad. And so it tends to be, you know, it can either help you feel better or it can just make you feel a lot worse. Also showing how the best way to ensure someone does something is to tell them they cannot do it. Exactly. Don't tell me what I can't do. I mean, I would also look at it from this angle, like, at least he does care. At least he does, like, like, some people just, I don't know, I feel like some people just don't give a shit. You're like, hey, I'm gonna go out hiking. Okay, bye. It's like, you don't even want to know where I'm going. You don't want to know where I'll be or what time I'm supposed to be back. It's like, you know, if you guys just communicate, there's no problem. Like, I get it. Like, I would feel anxious if somebody I knew was out just, like, in nature alone. You know, it's just kind of, and like checking in with people is kind of just a common thing that people will do. Like, hey, I'm going to be out hiking. Hey, I'm going to be out camping. I'm going to be doing this. You know, I'm going to be out in this area and I should be back at this time, you know, just in case, you know, just in case a boulder rolls over you. You end up like that one guy in that movie with the rock, you know, the one. Like, part of where I'm coming from with this is, like, I've heard stories because I have, you know, my mom and I have sisters, and they've shared stories with me where they've been out walking and they've encountered people that have given them, like, a great deal of, like, physical discomfort. So I, you know, just, like, having people, like, following or, like, you know what I mean? Just, like, creepy behavior. And so, unfortunately, this shit does happen, but it shouldn't make it so that you can only go outside when you have a male escort, because that's not really a good solution either. It's like, no, you can't go out into the world. There's men in it, unless you have a man with you. You know what I mean? That's kind of fucked up. Kind of fucked up. I think just making sure you take proper precautions. You know, like, hey, this is where I'll be. This is the trail I'm going to be on. I should be back by this time. Because that's just good practice, you know, because, you know, 99.9% of the time, yeah, you'll probably be just fine. But, like, you want there to be a protocol just in case something does happen. It's just, you know, you're out hiking, you're out camping, and something happens. It's good to know that people know when you should be back so that they know to call somebody to go look for you, you know, if you get lost in the woods or something. Yeah, Donnie, that's how it is in some parts of the country. It's like, there are parts of the world where, like, women aren't allowed to go around without a male escort, which is something that's existed as part of some places. You know, it's part of their culture, and it's like, this has been the culture for thousands of years, and it's like, misogyny truly is the oldest form of bigotry. Misogyny is still so widespread, and it's still such a problem, but people just don't really take it as seriously as they should. Intrinsically think everyone hates me? How do I get over that? Well, a few ways. What we're trying to do here is we're trying to rewire our thinking a little bit. Maybe we're feeling a little insecure, maybe we're feeling a little vulnerable, maybe we're worried that people are going to be judging us or thinking bad things about us. Oftentimes, and I'm not saying that this is what's going on for you, but this is just what you will commonly see when people do this, is they have their own insecurities. You know, like, maybe I'm not tall enough, maybe I'm not strong enough, maybe I'm not, you know, the right size, whatever. People will have insecurities, and then what they'll do is they will worry that other people are silently criticizing them for the things that they are insecure about. That's how the insecurity is allowed to exist. It's something that you're worried about other people thinking about you, and it's something that you're often insecure about within yourself. And so you assume other people must be judging you for it. When in reality, they probably aren't. I hate to break it to you, but other people don't really think about you that much. And I'm not trying to even say that as a diss, I'm just saying that as a statement of fact. Rude. I'm just telling it like it is. People got other stuff to think about. They gotta think about Abendbroten. Sounds like they have suffered narcissistic abuse because that's a common side effect. I know, I think that all the time. Ah, okay. Good point. Let's talk about that. Sometimes what you'll see in narcissistic abuse is you will not receive much praise from a parent. It was a bit of a tongue twister, but we made it through. You might not receive much praise or affirmation. Anything that you do is probably not good enough, and you're always told that you're just such a letdown and, you know, you're such a disappointment and all that kind of stuff. For a lot of people, they assume that other people think the same way that their parent did. If that's how my parent thought about me, then this must be how everybody thinks about me. instead of recognizing that your parent was just a jerk. So how do we get over it? Well, first by understanding what's going on, because awareness is the big entry point here. We want to just be aware of what's going on. Why do I do this? Right, now what do I want to do about it? Move past it. Let's do a little bit of rewiring. How do people treat people that they hate? If other people, or if everybody hated you, most of them would probably have a pretty hard time of being sneaky about it. The way I look at it is, I won't assume that anybody hates me unless they tell me that they hate me. Unless they explicitly state their hatred for me. I will assume that they are just confused. Like, first off, how could they hate you? They don't even know you. And if they do know you and they're spending time with you and they're around you, then they must like you to some extent, at least. They probably don't think you're perfect, but nobody is perfect, so that's fine. Besides, we don't want everybody to just, be a sycophant. We don't want everybody to just, think we're just so wonderful and so great. We like people to have an honest opinion about us. More likely to hate themselves if you think about it. Most people are dealing with their own insecurities. This is true, because everybody has insecurities. That's their pain. Your insecurities, that's your pain. And your pain will always be more distracting than other people's pain. With perhaps a few exceptions. It's not. Just in general. Like random people you meet. Just... It's really hard to turn that off. I've been trying for so long and natural instinct just kicks in. Can you take a step back from it and just catch yourself in the act? It's not about turning it off. That's not how it works. It's about slowing the flow. Like a rushing faucet. You can't just cap it. You have to learn how to redirect it. You catch yourself in this old thought loop. You catch yourself those natural instincts popping up. First off, recognize that it's happening. Oh, I'm doing the thing. I'm doing the thing that I need to work on, and I'm aware of it. This is good. This gives you an entry point. Don't take this as a defeat, because that's probably what you'll do. You notice yourself doing the thing that you're trying not to do, and then you feel bad about yourself for doing it. Like, oh no, I'm doing the thing that I'm not supposed to be doing. But how else could you work on it, unless in the moment that it pops up? So instead of viewing this as a failure, we view this as an opportunity. I can't work on this unless it's in front of me. And so you catch yourself in the act. You notice that you're doing it. You notice that you are engaging in that pattern that you're trying to break. So where do we go from here? Now we've got an opportunity to pivot. We've got an opportunity to change direction. Sometimes all you need to do is just stop, pause, take a big deep breath, then take another look at it. The faucet, no, become the sink, nah, become the bathroom. See, now you're getting it. You're all those things. Be relatable. You know, it's relatable because it's just how brains work. You know, that's just how brains work. Whenever you catch yourself doing something that you're trying to not do anymore, especially when it comes to thinking, like these thought loops you get into, don't view that as a loss. This isn't a defeat. This is actually what I need. I needed this thing to happen so that I could fix it. I needed the car to make the weird noise so that I knew what to pay attention to when I'm looking under the hood. I needed the wheel to squeak so that I knew where to apply grease. And if you're able to change your perspective from viewing these things as a fault or a failure, and instead viewing them as an opportunity for growth, it's a game changer. Sometimes I blame myself for things that happen that are totally out of my control. I hope they patch that out in the Humanity update. You know, whenever they update our operating system, I hope they patch that out, because that's a really big bug. That's a really big bug. It's you know, a lot of people doing that one. Like, oh hey, something happened and there was absolutely nothing you could do about it. You should feel bad about it anyway. You should feel personally responsible for not doing something to stop it, even though there was literally nothing you could do. Somebody on the other side of the planet shit their pants. That's you know, that's on you. You should feel bad about it. It just means you have empathy. You're able to put yourself in other people's position. You are able to feel the pain that other people are feeling. And that's not a bad thing. But we want to try to keep it regulated so that it doesn't burn through us. Cat Dev with the 13. Thank you. Thank you. I'm scared I embarrassed myself. Embarrassing yourself isn't the end of the world. Let's actually talk about that. What is the best way to handle embarrassment? Is the best way to handle embarrassment to run off screaming and crying and or is the best way to handle feeling embarrassment to be able to laugh at yourself? You know, you slip, or you split your pants. What do you do? Remember it in detail right before going to sleep. Tying this back to what we were talking about earlier, that's a good opportunity to practice viewing yourself from a new perspective. Go through that moment again in your mind, but instead of going through it from your own first-person perspective, try to view it as if you're watching it from overhead, like a bird's eye view, or from the corner of the room, like on a security camera feed, or from the perspective of somebody else that was there, just a bystander. And what you'll notice is that it'll help you to change the perspective on that thing. From your perspective, this was the worst day of my life. I was walking down the stairs and I slipped and I dropped my coffee and it spilled all over the place and everybody stared at me. It was the worst day of my life and it replays in my mind every night before I go to sleep. Until you start practicing viewing that from a different point of view. Now you're not viewing it from your point of view, you're viewing it from the point of view of the person who is standing behind you and saw it happen. And what you recognize is that this person probably doesn't think anything all that badly of you. If anything, they probably feel sorry for you. They probably feel secondhand embarrassment. They're probably like, oof, been there, that's happened, that's rough. I hope they're okay. When it comes to embarrassing moments, you can take your power back, because you could actually turn them into funny stories that you tell to people, and it makes you look cool. So, imagine turning an L into a W. Have you got a piece about the realist versus the idealist? Yep, it's called My Autobiography. My own internal struggle. The half of me that's the realist and the half of me that's the idealist. I'm having a hard time with a blame-shifting boss at work. That's the worst. Especially when it's basically just their job. Does anybody find that relatable? Has anybody ever been at a job where they've had a boss whose primary duties at that job were to just shift blame around? Like, I think that's just, there's a lot of people out there where that's just their job, and these are going to be the people that the AI comes for first. They're going to find that an AI is actually way better at that than you are as a human, so why are we paying you 6 figures to do this? So you've got a boss that will insist on taking projects and then mismanage them and send an email detailing my shortcomings on things that should really be her responsibility. Oh, so you email? Okay. Get everything in writing. Get everything in writing. Collect the receipts. You know why? Because in the future, if you find yourself in a position where the boss is trying to throw somebody under the bus, you can be like, actually, no, it didn't happen that way. Here, check out all these emails. If your boss is doing things to mismanage, then get it in writing. Send an email asking for confirmation. You know, there are things that you can do to highlight the boss's mismanagement so that you can avoid being the one thrown under the bus. This is an ancient technique that, you know, they call it taking your boss's job. This is how you get your boss's job. For example, she will turn in a project 2 days late and then blame me because it takes 2 hours to finalize it. Okay. Well, anybody with a brain can figure that one out, so... This makes me feel like I am inadequate at my job. How dare you do that? How dare you internalize this? How dare you? Capitalism has us brainwashed. It's got us out here feeling insecure because we're not the perfect little worker bees. This makes me feel like I am inadequate at my job, and sometimes it results in being humiliated to company leadership or my team. This is where receipts come in order, so you can be like, oh no, actually it was like this. I also feel increasingly challenged to not be disdainful of her in our daily conversations. Yeah, this person is using you as a scapegoat. You should be very aware that this person would feed you to the wolves at the first possible opportunity. This is why you need to have receipts. This is why you need to have documentation. This is why you need things in writing. You need to protect yourself from this person. You do not owe this person loyalty because this person has zero loyalty to you. I'm trying to work on an internal transfer before the end of the year, but I also need to protect my peace for the next month or two. I feel scapegoated. You have been, so that makes sense. And it's been dominating my thoughts for weeks because it feels so unfair. It is. But what are we doing with that? What are we doing with that? Are we just going to sit there and be like, it's just so unfair, I wish things were different? They can be. But we also just need to make sure we're doing what we can to protect ourselves. You know, if the boss is putting out bad orders, get that have that email saved. You know, get those screenshots, timelines, everything. What your boss is doing is a normal part of corporate culture. A lot of people will shift blame around, and that's just kind of what they do in the corporate structure so that they can continue to advance. And so, if your boss sees the chance for a promotion or a bigger bonus, and it comes at the cost of you, they will pay that cost gladly. You know, if they can cut costs and be like, oh yeah, we were actually able to, you know, eradicate this position here so that they can secure an extra $50,000 holiday bonus or whatever, it's like, you gotta protect yourself. The corporate environment is honestly unhinged. Do you have any recommendations for working and coping with a personality like this? While I wait for bureaucracy to do its thing, just do your job. Do your job and document everything. Just do your job and document everything. You know, if your boss feels like you're the type of person that they can push around, they're gonna push you around. It's just bullying behavior. These people never grew up. Everybody's 12 now. You see this in corporate environments. You see people who just have the same bullying tactics that they did in elementary school. So how do you stand up to these people? The same way that you would stand up to a bully. You don't let them push you around. I've been in this situation once. Felt horrible, but if I didn't have the receipts, I would have been left in the dust. But because of the proof and law knowledge left with a nice compensation and as he... See? Exactly. Like, because you gotta remember that the people who... Just because the people are in, like, supervisory positions doesn't always mean that they're smart. You can climb pretty high up a corporate ladder by just being a bully and just displacing blame onto other people. Just knowing how to avoid accountability and shift blame around. Doesn't mean you're smart, it just means you're manipulative. And so what you need to be is smart. You need to be the one who's actually gathering evidence. You know, saving emails, saving screenshots, just showing proof of your own competency and your boss's inadequacy. Because they're not doing that. Because they're not even thinking to do that. Because they think that there's no consequences for what they do and that they can just go through life blaming other people for all of their own shortcomings. It sucks we live in a world where we have to collect receipts, though. Yes, I will not disagree with you on that. I don't like the game. I'm not a fan of the game, personally. You know me, I don't like this game. But I know how the game is played. And so if you are in a position where you have to play the game, we can at least incorporate some strategies to ensure that things go a little smoother. Sometimes I ask people to send me an email reminder of a conversation as a subtle way of getting a paper trail. Yeah, stuff like that. Just, you get it in writing. Like, if your supervisor pulls you aside and they give you an order and it sounds sketchy, just be like, I'm gonna need that in writing. Can you email that to me? What you don't want it to do is just come down to, like, your word versus their word. Like, you need physical evidence. It's just corporate shit. Like, it's stupid. It's stupid. Just a bunch of childish bullies. The middle management's full of them. Like, you do realize that this population of people, their only role within the company is to bully the people beneath them to get them to work harder and to internalize things. You know, it's like, that's why they're there. That's why they're in the position that they're in. They're the ones there to, you know, stand there and look menacingly and threaten to zap you with a cattle prod if you aren't keeping up speed. Has anyone been on a meditation retreat? Oh, I have not. Sounds fun, though. Sounds like the vibes will be nice. I'm going on one in about 2.5 weeks, and I haven't prepared. What is there to prepare? It's a silent retreat for 7 days. I'm very excited, but I've been depressed and haven't regularly meditated. I'm a sporadic meditator, been wanting to change that. I'm a little worried I'll be overwhelmed by the experience, but part of me thinks this will be really good for me. Am I being naive? What you're noticing is your own, you know, internal conflict here. I think this could be really good for me, but this is also kind of scary and I don't feel like I'm prepared. I think you're gonna do just fine. Because it sounds like the task here is to not do very much. You know, it's a silent meditation retreat. If there is any, like, awkwardness or discomfort, it should fade after the first day or two, I would assume. You know, and then you'll really get into the flow of it, and then it'll be nice. I wouldn't worry about having not meditated in a while. I feel like it's not gonna really matter. That's okay. The thing about meditation is that it's something that you do, but it's also a state of mind. It's a state of being. And so even if you haven't sat down and actively meditated, like, all right, here I am, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to have my back up straight, I'm going to close my eyes, I'm going to breathe. It's just one way of meditating. Meditation is a state of mind. You've probably been in that state of mind. You just didn't recognize it as meditation. Because, you know, when we're getting into meditation, it's something that we feel like there's a specific way to do it. I gotta do it this way, otherwise I can't do it at all. But you do it. You do it. You do it when you're in the shower, you do it when you're driving, you do it when you're walking around. Maybe even sometimes you do it on the toilet. I don't know. I'm not peeking, that's for sure. Sounds like a lot of fun. I think you're gonna enjoy it. You'll have to tell us all about it. This is part of my meditation. Nice. Yeah, whenever things really clicked for me when it came to meditation, it was when I had the realization that I can do it anywhere, anytime. For any amount of time. It's not like I have to sit down and do it for 20 minutes straight, uninterrupted, in order for it to count. You can do it for a moment, as you're standing there, watching the microwave spin a little burrito around. Meditation's just all about awareness. Just taking a step back from your thoughts, because we get so caught up in that flow of thoughts. We feel like that's who we are. But you are the one that experiences your thoughts. You are the one that is aware that you are thinking. And so to meditate is just to lean into that part of you, the part of you that is aware, your consciousness. Started seeking therapy recently since I've noticed a change within myself. That's a W. That's a W, way to stay on top of it. I'm 8 months postpartum and I also have a 2-year-old. I got 2 little ones. That's no wonder. No wonder you've been dealing with some changes within yourself. Taking care of 2 young children is probably one of the most mentally, physically, spiritually exhausting things a person can go through. So, no wonder you've noticed a change. How could you expect things to stay the same? My fiance got incarcerated a week before my daughter turned 1. That's rough. I'm sorry to hear that, especially with them being so young and that being a time when you really, need a lot of help taking care of the baby. I went through pregnancy by myself the second time. Damn, girl. Fighter over here. It helps me become more independent, but also understand myself in a way. Yeah, it's like you find out what you're made of whenever you go through a situation that's really tough and you make it through all on your own. It's not like we're, we wanted it to be that way, but we have a way of finding the best in things and being like, you know what? Well, even though I had to go through this and it was painful and challenging, it's like I'm not mad about it because it helped to shape me. You know, our trials and tribulations, they are a way of how we grow stronger. But sometimes it's like, God, find another soldier. Can't get much stronger. We communicated every day, but once he got home about 4 months ago, I felt a shift. I held on to a grudge without realizing that I was doing that. My emotions and thoughts would come in waves, and I didn't understand myself, why I would snap or respond with attitude. I didn't think I'd be dealing with PPD, but here we are, and I'm glad I'm looking for help instead of digging myself into a big hole. Me too. You know, when you start to notice that you're on the decline, you start to notice that you're going into a little dip, that's when you want to start looking for hands to help you out. I'll put the shovel down. Don't dig any further. See, the thing about this is I don't feel that you are unjustified in feeling frustrated. Part of what I'm hearing here is you're feeling confused and you're feeling like I'm doing something wrong by getting frustrated or sometimes snapping or having an attitude. It's like you had to go through pregnancy while also taking care of a young child all on your own. You are perfectly valid to feel frustrated that you were left on your own to do that. And so it's okay that you have these feelings. It's okay that you're frustrated, because you should be. It's a frustrating situation. But it's good that you're opening up to working on those things. I'd be resentful too. That's so tough. Like, I'm over here, I'm mad for you. I'm like, God damn, like, of all the times to, like, why you gotta, so. I won't, I'm not gonna go there, but I'm frustrated for you. Anyway, I applaud you for looking into going out and talking to somebody about it. It's probably, you know, it might also be playing a hand in why you've been feeling depressed lately, is, you know, because you've got these feelings and you feel like I can't take ownership of these feelings. You know, it's a difficult position to be in, and sometimes, you know, being in these emotionally taxing, exhausting situations, they can have a depressive effect. And so that could be amplifying whatever you might be dealing with just as your body comes back into balance after having a child. Like, not to be too frank, but I'd be pissed too. I'd be like, having to take care of 2 small children, or having to take care of a small child while also carrying another child. You're a strong person. And you sound like a kind person as well, so make sure that you also show yourself the kindness that you deserve, you know? Can't beat yourself up for getting a little snappy, because I feel like, given the circumstances, it makes sense to be a little snappy. Now you can recognize that and be like, okay, that's not where I want to go with this. I want to go in a different direction, and that's good. You know, you're doing a good job. I applaud you. Is there a scientific explanation as to why the holiday's energy has a universal effect? I don't follow this holiday, not from the US, but I can definitely feel it in the air. Is there a scientific explanation? Yeah. What we're thinking about here is a sort of social contagion. And I'll get into that. I'll get into it more in depth, but I planned to live this week just like any other, but as soon as I woke up on Thursday, I had no interest in doing any work, and I was happy to indulge in holiday mode. Just lay back and get cozy. Sounds like a win. I usually have a very strict daily routine as a self-employed, but I was set on living this week just like any other. Good. Good. I'm happy for you. But the end of the year has really set in. I don't know how it happened. I guess it's not bad, but just weird. Isn't that kind of funny? It's not, I get it. I get it why it would feel weird, because it's just not in the norm for you, but sometimes it's nice to just take a break. Sometimes it's nice to just have a day off. You know, it's a holiday. We just allow ourselves to enjoy it instead of worrying about all the stuff that we need to get done. It's good. It's good for you. It's good for your brain. So, is there a scientific explanation? Well, why there was that energy in the air? Like, well, whenever there is, you know, something that is like a popular event, or let's use the example of like a concert. You know, there's a social amplifying effect. People find other people's energy to be contagious. And so being excited about something and then being around other people who are also excited, it helps to make you feel more excited. Because whenever we share in emotions, those emotions get amplified. Is it MK Ultra or just synchronicity? Probably just synchronicity. I think it's just you picking up on the vibes, if I'm being honest. Now that doesn't sound super scientific. You asked for a scientific explanation, but it kind of is a scientific explanation. It's just, I'm not phrasing it very scientifically, but you yourself, you have the ability to perceive things that you might not be consciously aware that you are perceiving. Your body is picking up all sorts of information that you don't consciously perceive. If you walk into a room and everybody in that room is miserable, you feel it before you even share a word with those people. On the flip side, if you walk into a room and everybody's having a great time, you'll feel it before you even talk to anybody. Because there are things that are exchanged between us. There's this constant exchange of energy. There's also a chemical exchange in the form of pheromones. There's all sorts of stuff just floating around in the air. And it influences us. I appointment did not go as planned. Well, if I remember, you were planning for it to go terribly, and you're still here, so perhaps even though it wasn't ideal, it was still better than expected. You made it. You knew you'd make it. You did it. You did it. Not ideal, but also not catastrophic, so that's good. So the way that I interpret that is that it was the best possible outcome. There was no way in hell that it was going to be all sunshine and rainbows at the OBGYN. There was just no way that this was going to be like a musical sing-along and everybody's having fun. No, it was not going to play out that way. But it also didn't end in catastrophe. You know, you didn't run out of the building screaming. And so you did the thing. Anyway, it will become just another story to tell. What you'll notice about a lot of the events that our mind labels as trauma is that once the pain fades away, it turns into a pretty good story. Like, oh yeah, so this one time I was doing this one thing. Crazy. Do you think it is right for a streamer to stream a movie and walk away from their stream and then brag about never having seen the movie they broadcasted multiple times? Does that not break Twitch rules? What do I look like? The Twitch hall monitor? Go ask somebody who works there. This is not my place to call judgment. I don't have anything to do with the running of this website. Maybe you should call them. Maybe they have a hotline you can call. Maybe you can talk to a person. But it's not me. What do I do? Like, I don't care. I don't really. But why would it be wrong? I really don't care. Break Twitch rules, just guessing. A lot of things happen on this website that go against the rules. Right? There are a lot of things that go on this website that are in violation of the website's rules, and if, you know, somebody watching a movie is where you want to draw in the sand, I'm like draw the line in the sand, I'm just like, there are bigger problems that you could probably be worried about on this platform. Just saying, like, if for all the causes to rally behind, you know, maybe rally behind a cause that's actually inflicting harm on people instead of, you know. Wasting time on a mental health channel for such questions? That was a mental health question. That was a mental health question because if you are like overly concerned about people watching movies, then you should get your head checked. Find a new hobby. Companies paying you right, it's like what, like the way that some people will just like eagerly defend billion-dollar corporations as if they know that you exist or that you have you know, it's like brother, there are real issues going on in the world. I don't give a shit if somebody wants to watch a movie. I really don't. There's way worse shit that goes on here. Why is sleep so damn weird? It is. You're right. It is. Sleep is very weird. We know a lot about sleep, but there's also a lot that we don't really know about sleep. So it exists in this interesting position where it's something that is highly researched, highly studied, but also very misunderstood still. There are things that, like, some people, for example, need very little sleep. You have people who, you know, are able to survive on just a small amount of sleep. It's just something genetic within them. It's interesting. I feel sleepy after I wake up, after lunch, during work, and when it's bedtime, I am wide awake, fully functioning, thinking about what Einstein was smoking when he discovered special relativity. Summary is, how do I make myself feel sleepy when I need to? Ah, alright. Let's talk about that. When it comes to feeling tired, we can feel tired in different ways. What you've probably noticed is that there are things that can make you feel physically exhausted. Like, there are things that make you feel like you need to sit down or you need to lie down. And then there are other things that leave you feeling mentally exhausted. Your brain is just done for the day. It's cooked. And so you're kind of just cruising on autopilot. What you might be experiencing is your body is tired because you've been up and about and moving around all day, but your mind, on the other hand, perhaps your mind just hasn't been all that stimulated, or because you were kind of just going through the rest of the day in a fog. You were going through the rest of the day in autopilot. And so your brain didn't really get the workout that it was looking for. And so it's time to settle down for sleep, and it's acting like a, you know, I'm not trying to call you a child here. This is just the example. It's like you're trying to put a kid down for a nap. And it's like, I don't want to. It's like fighting it. Have you ever seen that? If anybody who's ever had to like help take care of young children, and you'll see that like when they're sleepy, they will fight it. They will fight falling asleep. They'll be standing there with a toy in their hand, just like nodding off, just and then you're like, hey, do you want to go to bed? You want to take a nap? And they'll be like, no. They will fight it. And that's kind of what your brain is doing. It's like, aw, I don't want to go to bed. I don't want to go to sleep yet. I still, you know, and so that's why your brain is racing when you're laying there and you're like, huh, okay. You know, so one thing that might be helpful is just trying to do things that exercise your brain a little bit more throughout the day. You know, there's any number of things. You don't need me to tell you what. Just try to do things that are mentally stimulating. Because it's like you said, it kind of feels like you're just going through the motions. You know, you wake up sleepy after lunch. It's just, you know, wake up, work, lunch, work, go home, have dinner, go to bed, and then you're like, your brain still has some gas to it. You know, you could consider a good part of sleep hygiene to have something that you can do at the end of the day to help your mind wind down. A lot of people read, for example. It's a great way to, you know, help tire your brain out. The trick is to find a way to distract it gently, like ASMR, instead of thinking randomly. Yeah, there's other ways that you can approach this. You know, there's different ways to solve this situation. One of the things that I used to do when I was young, and I would have racing thoughts in bed at night. I was a little bit of an insomniac as a child. And what I noticed was that I couldn't slow my thoughts down. I would lay there and I would try to just slow my thoughts down. I would try to hold on to a thought for as long as I could. But what I noticed was that you can't hold on to a thought. There's always another thought waiting behind the one that you're holding. And so what I found to be helpful was, instead of trying to slow my thoughts down, I sped them up so that my thoughts were just kind of breezing past me. Too fast for me to even react to them. Anyway, I think it's kind of just a situation where it might be helpful to tire your brain out a little bit. So I would try to find something that can help you to do that so that your brain isn't left wanting more. It's kind of like going to bed hungry, except for your brain. Your brain is hungry, and it doesn't like to go to bed hungry. That's why it's like trying to ask all of these prolific questions while you're lying there in bed. Also put on some delta waves. Whenever you're in deep sleep, your brain produces its lowest level of brain waves. They're called delta waves. So you could put on some like sleep sounds. Maybe like some white noise or some using brown noise. You gotta be careful with that brown noise. You might shit your pants. But what I like to do is I like to do rain sounds. It always puts me right to sleep. Listening to white noise, since it's like random and sporadic and there's no like, our brain likes to try to like form patterns and stuff, but when you're listening to something like this, it's like kind of helps your brain to unwind a little bit. also do some delta waves. This one has more like music to it, but when you look at these like wave type videos, it's like some of them will just be the wave, just a pure frequency, and then other ones they'll put like soft music over it, so whichever one you prefer. I lived next to a highway as a kid, so my noise machine was cars going 50 miles an hour out of my window. Just the... Got another question here. Let's take a look. I bought my house during COVID, and my next door neighbors are renters. They are refugees, and I believe the landlord sponsored them to move here, so it's not a typical tenant-landlord situation. Like Yes. Yeah, soon. Yeah, this is my last question. Well, shopping.
The only thing that I want to get is I need a new tray.
Let's go see who has some deals. Yeah, I'm down. This is my last question, so. Casey came in. She wants to go out shopping. So we're going to take this question. Then we're going to go out and look for deals. Alright, so we have some landlord-sponsored refugees. I completely sympathize with their situation as refugees, but they are terrible neighbors. They leave weeks worth of garbage in their yard that birds rip apart and bring into my yard. It attracts mice and insects. Why is your landlord not doing anything? The landlord owns the property. If the property is piled up with trash, that's a violation. And so the landlord needs to do something about it. The landlord needs to talk to them. The landlord needs to help the trash get cleaned up. You know, otherwise, what's the landlord doing? What service are they providing here? How do I get to the question link? This is going to be the last one today because I'm about to go. But if you have one, I'll take it next time. Somebody needs to talk to him because, you know, if you're living at a house and you can see that, you know, my neighbor isn't leaving trash in their yard, the people across the street aren't leaving trash in their yard, it's just there's a bunch of trash in my yard. They've been told multiple times nothing changes, then call the city, perhaps. I'm not sure. You might have to escalate. Or try talking to your neighbors and ask them to clean it. Read the rest of the question. Okay. All right. They're loud at all hours of the night. Last week, they piled up fallen branches and leaves against their garage, lit them on fire, and left the property while it burned. Call the fire department. They'll love to hear that one. Actually, call everybody. Call everybody. Call the city, whoever enforces the codes. Call the fire department. Because the fire department will not, they're not gonna fuck around if they're finding other people are just starting big fires and then leaving. They take that stuff pretty seriously. Your garage is about 3 feet from mine, putting my property at serious risk. I'm not sure how to handle this situation, especially since they speak no English, and resentment is building quickly. I have severe anxiety, especially related to fire, and I'm not sure how to feel safe and at peace in my own home. Then call the people who are responsible for enforcing the peace. It sucks whenever we have to get other people involved, but we need to get other people involved. Otherwise, it doesn't sound like things are going to change, or, they're not going to get involved until something else happens, Have any thoughts on how to mentally handle a situation like this? I'm afraid I'll have to sell my house at a huge financial loss and move. No. What? No. For renters that are violating codes. It's like they'll get fines from the city. They'll have to come out and clean it. Or they'll have to... I'm worried it's going to happen when I'm not home and my house and cats will perish in a fire. You need to bring this to more people's attention. This is a lot to just bear on you, and it's not a problem that only you can solve. It's not like you can go over there and just ask them to stop. I think we need to just document things. Document things, take pictures, just get things on record. If you've called the landlord several times, have that documented. Be like, I called them on this date and on this date, and it's because it's for your safety, it's for their safety, it's for the safety of the other people in the neighborhood. It's like, no, you handle it in the same way that you would handle any neighbor. It's like the whole refugee angle. It's like it adds a layer of complexity because they don't speak English. And so you can't ask them directly. But there are other places where these are, natural born American citizens that are doing the same type of stuff. And you call the same people that you would call if it was anybody else. Cities have codes for a reason, so that there's not like vermin and trash and all sorts of, this isn't just on you. Like, if there were things that just you could do, it's like no, neighborly disputes happen all the time, and there's reasons why we have codes and laws to do something about it when you have an issue with a neighbor. You can't just leave trash lying around. That's unhealthy. It's littering. You can't be starting unintended fires. That's a huge danger. Especially if your houses are so closely packed together. So I would just call people and I would let them know what's going on. And I would also document so that you have like pictures and things like that. Especially if you've tried to like talk to like the landlord, or like you've asked several times and nothing has changed. It's like, okay. Like, let's say that hypothetically, like, I don't know how the laws work where you live, but I would assume that, like, if they weren't able to, like, find the people living there because of their refugee status, like, they weren't able to, like, issue them citations or something because of, like, I don't know, like, I'm just, like, the landlord would have to. It's like, at some point, it's like, somebody has to pay the fine for there being trash on this property, and if it can't be put onto the person living there, then I'm like, maybe the landlord would have to be the one getting cited, at which case, you know, if he's the one sponsoring them, then he is kind of like responsible for that. And so somebody will have to clean it, somebody will have to take care of it, but you're gonna have to let people know that this is a problem so that something gets done. Once the landlord gets fined, they will probably do something. That's what I was thinking. It's like, once the landlord gets a citation, it's like, hey, you own this property? Like, all right, well, it's covered in garbage, so here's a citation. You need to clean it up, or otherwise we're gonna tack more onto it. That will get clean, I guarantee it. Landlord is rich, so he doesn't care much, but we'll see. Well, then if that's the case, if money's not the thing, then go after their reputation. Start taking pictures of the property and posting them on real estate websites or rental websites and be like, don't trust this landlord, this is what they let their properties look like. Like, there are things that you can do if, you know, like, to put the pressure on. Yeah, call the news. There's tons of people you can talk to. I would just, you know, ask around for help, because this is a stressful situation. You know, having issues with a neighbor. So I would just call and let people know. Alright, everybody. I'm gonna go out with Casey. So that's gonna be it. That's gonna be it for me today. Have a great night, everybody. I will see you all later. Thanks for coming by. See ya. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.